Do not pre-order Black Ops 6. Do not get excited for Black Ops 6 are a bunch of videos that I've seen on YouTube as of late, and I think it's kind of silly. I make these kind of videos over on my second channel all the time, normally reacting to people making those kind of videos, but I just want to say one thing. It is okay to be excited for a Call of Duty game. It is okay to get your hopes up, and just know that yes, you may be let down. And if you've been a Call of Duty fan for a while, that happens more often than not. However, everything that I am seeing from Call of Duty Black Ops 6 points me in the direction of things looking good, things going in the right direction. And in fact, I think there's a bunch of things coming to the game that you can straight up be excited about. And as far as pre-ordering the game goes, I'm going to go against what most people say with video games, where it's just straight up don't pre-order it, wait until the game comes out. I kind of disagree with that. I think if you're a person who plays Call of Duty every single year and wants the bonuses, it is okay to pre-order the game. If you're going to get it anyway, you might as well get the bonuses. However, if you're a person that's been burnt too many times by Call of Duty and doesn't want to put up the money up front, wants to see what reviews are like, wants to see how long the campaign is, wait. Absolutely 100% wait. But again, you have to wait to see what that's all about if you're in that camp. However, what I will say, pre-orders aside, it's okay to get your hopes up. And in fact, there's a bunch of things that I think are good and a bunch of things that I am also worried about when it comes to Black Ops 6. And I just wanted to make one video kind of airing my grievances and talking about what I'm actually excited for. And I think some things are unarguably just good for the game. First of which is the return of the classic prestige system. If you don't know how this works, you level up, you hit 55. When you prestige, it sets you back to level 1, and then you can go through those 55 levels all over again, unlocking everything. If you don't know why this is good, it is plain, it is simple. The main reason why this is good is right now in Call of Duty, we kind of have one thing and one thing alone to grind for. Yeah, you got the weekly challenges and that has improved this year, but aside from that, when the game launches, you hit max level, the only thing that you can grind for is weapon camos. Once you get those, you're just kind of done. With classic prestige system, it gives you another thing to grind for, and in my opinion, we've been missing this for a long time with Call of Duty. Another thing that's unarguably just good is theater mode is making a return. I think that'll be a lot of fun, and a lot of people haven't said this. I think it's actually going to help with hackers. If someone's hacking, you can just go and watch your last game and be like, oh yeah, you're reported. And it should help with the studio actually getting rid of hackers as well. And I hope, I doubt, but I hope that that'll also come to Warzone. The campaign on top of that is looking really, really good. Treyarch, generally speaking, does a really good job. That being said, Treyarch isn't actually the one making the campaign. Raven is. Raven also made Black Ops Cold War's campaign, which I really enjoyed as well. It was just a little on the short side, but I'm guessing with 4 years to make this game, this one will be a little bit longer. And on top of that, round-based zombies are making a return. If you can't be excited about any of that, you are probably just not going to be excited for Call of Duty as a whole, and that is completely fair, because there are some things that legitimately have me worried and can be very, very bad when it comes to Call of Duty. The first one is an obvious one. That is skill-based matchmaking, or engagement-optimized matchmaking, whatever you want to call it. The thing with skill-based matchmaking is it's not going anywhere. It simply isn't. People are saying, well, X-Defiant has so much success, maybe Call of Duty will see that and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to do the same thing. Skill-based matchmaking, I don't think is designed for you. If you're watching this video, if you watch Call of Duty videos, you are probably better, if not a lot better, than the average Call of Duty player. Skill-based matchmaking is designed for the average and worse Call of Duty players to help them get engaged with the game more often. For you good players, we're the ones that get screwed by skill-based matchmaking, and the better you are, the more screwed you're by it. Because essentially, if you're a god at the game, if you have like a 4 or 5 KD, it is almost always going to think you can just carry a team, and it's going to put you with horrible teammates and against good enemies. And of course, that's a problem. But keep in mind, people watching my videos or videos on the internet are less than 10% of the average Call of Duty player base. And that is a really, really big deal. Now, generally, they are the more dedicated players, and they have to be catered to as well. The question is how they're going to do it. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people are jumping to conclusions, as kind of Call of Duty deserves at this point. But when you jump to conclusions, you don't know. The game's not out to be like, don't get excited for Call of Duty because you are going to dislike it. I don't like that statement. Be skeptical, be wary. Yes, but don't be afraid to get excited. Some of my favorite memories from Call of Duty are when they're like announcing Call of Duty Black Ops 1 in the day, telling us all of these features, wager matches, things like that. And it's like, oh my God, this is going to be so much fun. The hype cycle is actually kind of a part of the fun of Call of Duty. And if you're not getting excited for it, you're probably not going to enjoy the game to begin with. But that's not the only thing that I'm worried about. The other thing is the fact that the game is always online. And of course, for multiplayer, for Warzone, that's a necessity. That's really straightforward. But for campaign and zombies, this causes an issue. What if I'm playing campaign, I'm halfway through a mission and my internet goes out? I gotta restart it. What if I'm playing zombies, I reach round 98, going for round 100 and my internet goes out? You're screwed. I get it if you're playing with other players. That makes sense to me. But if you're playing solo, does it really have to be always online? Now, I've talked about this on the channel before. Online texture streaming is a real thing. If you don't know how that works, basically they use it so that there is less stress on your PC, on your console, on your Xbox, on your PlayStation. And the stress actually goes through your internet, resolving a bunch of issues and allowing the game to work and play better. It is actually a positive thing, but it also causes some negative things, forcing you to always be online being that thing. So yeah, so they're doing it for a reason. They're not just doing it to be evil like I've seen a bunch of people say. But at the same time, shouldn't they give you the option to maybe, yeah, you can download all of these textures for zombies and campaign, but it's going to take up a ton of hard drive space. And on top of that, it's going to put more stress on your console or PC and might not run as well. I think giving someone an option when it comes to these kind of things is always a good thing, at least in my opinion, but you can let me know what you think down in the comments. Now, there's also two things that I am questioning when it comes to Black Ops 6. The first of which is the movement. Now, if you don't know how Omni movement works, I've talked about it ad nauseum on the channel, but essentially the way that Omni movement works is you can run, jump, slide, dive in any direction. So you can slide backwards, you can dive backwards, you can slide to the right, you can slide to the left, you can sprint to the left, you can sprint backwards. We're caught up now? Okay, so now that you know that, I think that this overall is very good for Call of Duty. I think a change like this keeps the game fresh and exciting. When Black Ops 3 introduced their wall running and advanced movement, I loved that game. It was a lot of fun because it was fresh, new, and exciting and different than other Call of Duty games. This seems like a light version of that, but I still believe it'll vastly change up the way that the game is played. The problem with this is it adds in more of a skill gap, which to me is a good thing. But again, there's a bunch of players, 90% of the players that we just talked about, that are average or below average players. And learning this will make it very difficult. Now, a learning curve is a good thing in a video game. Take Elden Ring, for example. Very popular game, very difficult game. There's definitely bad video game players who play that game. And guess what? As they play more and as they get used to the mechanics, they get better. They get used to it. They overcome that difficulty and they're better for it. And I think that that's a good thing. However, if the barrier to entry is too high and people who are good at the game are ridiculous with this movement, it could put off a lot of players. And when it comes to this kind of movement stuff, there is always going to be exploits. Back in, I believe it was Black Ops 3, you had the G slide where you could mantle on something and slide at the same time while jumping over it, and it would boost you and you could run faster because of it. There's other things like slide canceling, and implementing more movement mechanics is going to mean more exploits. And if you don't think that there's going to be any, you're wrong. I guarantee within the first week, there's like 10 of them found. So again, those are going to make people more difficult to be shot, improve that skill gap, and make it more difficult for average players. And it worries me, not for players like me or probably like you will probably enjoy this. I think it'll be a fresh refresh to the game, but for that average player, I'm very curious what they think about it. And the other thing, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, is create a class. We are not getting a pick 10 system in this game. I think the pick 10 system is the best create a class system that has ever been in Call of Duty. The reason why I say that, it reduces grenade spam. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but when you use the pick 10 system, you can remove your grenades and add more perks and more attachments because of it. What happens with this is that players stop using things like lethals and tacticals in order to actually use other things. You could take off field upgrades and then use something else instead of that. But without a pick 10 system, everyone has grenades, everyone has lethals, everyone has tacticals, which means every game, everyone's throwing them, everyone's flashing people. Because of that, it creates the grenade spam problem. And I've had this problem for a very long time. Some games are much, much worse than others, but I do think the pick 10 system solves that. And it also gives more viability to using other things in your classes, using different perks instead of just using the same 3 perks every single game. That is my opinion on that, and I don't think we're going to see something like that in this game. But there are new things, like I can't remember the exact name for them, but like bonus perks, where essentially if you use all 3 green perks, when you get a kill, you're going to move faster and heal faster because you're using all 3 green perks. If you use all 4 blue perks, it's going to give you another bonus perk. If you use all 4 red perks, it's going to give you a different bonus perk. And there's a lot of things that they can do with this. For example, if you use 1 green perk and 2 blue perks, maybe that gives you another bonus. If you use rainbow perks, so in other words, a green perk, a blue perk, a red perk, maybe that gives you a different bonus. But they didn't show us that. That's just me completely speculating. So all of those things that I listed on the bad list, including skill-based matchmaking, always being online, movement, and create a class, are not necessarily bad things. They're just things that I am questioning. I mean, the one thing that we can say is a bad thing, skill-based matchmaking, but aside from that, everything else is speculation at this point. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video to say, you know what, if you're excited for Black Ops 6, it's okay. And if you're disappointed when the game comes out, and if it's crap, first of all, I'll let you know. But again, that's okay. That's a part of life, but being excited for things is fun. It's the reason why I think most people buy lottery tickets. It's fun to speculate what you can do with your $34 million and never win it. It's okay to be let down. Hopefully it doesn't happen this year, but those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, all of that kind of jazz. More Black Ops 6 content coming, more story content coming. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too